Well, all right. I had a cool idea. Hey, Chris. Master Tsai, greetings. So the idea is an organic soundscape. Okay, meaning like we're gonna try to recreate animal things, sounds, noises, crickets chirping, maybe a wind blowing, um, things like that. Birds. We'll make like a forest soundscape or something. All right. And I was like, this might actually be kind of a fun challenge. So let's. And I'm like, this can't really be 100% generative because there's certain things that I'm gonna want to have like triggered and stuff. Maybe rarely triggered, but nevertheless triggered. Yes. And I was like, okay, well, we've got clock dividers now out the wazoo. We've got all kinds of different things that we can use for that. So let's get stuck in. And I'm thinking the first thing is going to be let's make some cricket noises. Okay. So number one, obviously, we want the rhythm. Bip, bip, zip, zip. Right. So what's the sound source going to be? I think the sound source is going to be just a really, really high oscillator with a lot of audio rate, almost LFO. Hey, Jason. Um, so let's start with I'm going to start with the basic thing here. Let's just take an oscillator output here. And I'm pretty sure the mini mod will work good for this. I'm going to go ahead and patch it into a VCA right now because I imagine I'm going to need it. While I'm here, I might as well clear out my R-bar buffers. I don't know if I'm going to end up using this or not. I was like, well, you could easily recreate a soundscape by just recording a soundscape. That's completely defeating the purpose, obviously. Okay, so what do we got? Right now, we just got that. That's it. That's all we get. Okay, now if we go and then we turn the volume down so as to not annoy everyone. Okay. Now, linear CV, volt per octave, exponential CV. Yeah, we can do that. And then I'm going to go... Man, I kind of wish this had a reversed sawtooth. You would have to... What would you have to do to make that happen? Maybe a square would actually work okay for it. Okay, so now this is a square wave going in as FM. Okay. Now, of course, we can change the frequency of that square wave too. Right, there it is at its slowest. All right, now, you hear the higher part? There's sort of two parts. Okay. So the question is, can we just strain out the bottom part and leave the upper? And I think the answer is probably yes. I would think. So let's throw this into a filter filter that works good for that. Yeah, we're gonna want to basically just high pass it. So I think maybe like let's use the 860. Maybe that. Just a nice. Now the question is also, does it have enough slope to do the job? Okay. Kinda. Kind of. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get a clock started too. This might work. It's not 100% satisfactory. Okay, let's try this guy instead. Let's try the dual dagger. It's really hard to pin that down without like a really sharp notch filter, just like gank, gank, just super, super tight. Now, an interesting thing you could do right away to this, because you know how there's like different types of cricket sounds? There's like katydid types that just kind of do their thing. They just kind of chirp, you know? Like, if you could just do this. Let's turn our volume down first so as to not break people. Keep in mind, background, way background, right? Like way, way background. You know, you're not going to hear much. Okay. How's about a little bit of wind? I usually use the dual dagger for this, but maybe not able to, I think. So that's all right. So let's use Zagreb for this, and then we can also kind of stereo patch it. That'll be nice. Zagreb has a kind of a configurable slope kind of thing, you know? So you can put it on like low pass, high pass, sequential. They're sort of preset things. Instant wind. Nice. What if we put high pass white noise into it? So that way there's like literally nothing left when we... I think that'll work better, actually. Okay. Now, then, the other question is, how do we get constantly shifting, slow-moving modulation? I guess you could do it with the Maestro. Could do that. I think it would be more interesting, maybe, to do it with the Turing machine. Know what I mean? So if we put our clock divider on really low, right? And then we're going to take the basic CV out of the Turing machine, and I'm going to go into my glide or slew limiter unit. And then I'm going to put that into the FM. Then if we crank this up, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Yeah, FX. Yeah, Turing machine. I'm just using it now. Is it nothing happening because the time is set too long? No, I don't hear anything. Oh, because it's not the CV out. I need to put it at the output. There. Now we hear stuff. Okay, then. So. And again, depending on where the Turing machine goes. Now, what happens if we modulate the clock divider? Nothing. Yeah. In fact, the slower it goes, the more the... Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. I looked over. I was like, wait, what? Oh, yeah, 10-second chat lag. I forgot. Now, the other thing we can do is put this as a wet effect send only. And then we can throw some modulation into the... No, that's spread. So spread's going to do weird stuff because it's going to basically... Yeah, I don't want that there. Okay. Thought it would do more stereo, but it doesn't in the Zagreb. Okay, yeah, wind is pretty loud for no reason. Why is the wind so loud, bro? We can turn the filter down. I think higher might be better. Okay, so we have our wind. We have that stuff. What else? Could we make birds? I think some more like cricket insect noises, because if you're like out in the wilderness somewhere, like insects make a shit ton of noise, and some of them are just constant. Like they're just like, just not. I don't mean like wings, but just like constant. There's no rhythm to it. So something kind of similar to that, but maybe like higher. Um, let's see. How could we do this? I mean, it's like we can do it with a million different ways. That's the thing. So, just need a high pass filter for a destination. That's about it. So maybe we will go. Let's go mono. This little duder here. We can try different waveforms and stuff and see which one sounds the best. It just depends on circumstances and stuff. So let's go high pass out. That guy there. That guy there. And we're gonna go way higher than that. Okay. Annoying. Yeah, frogs. Exactly. Hmm. Should probably VCA this too. Using all kinds of VCAs. What's happening? What's going on? It's crazy. I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I don't have enough VCAs on my rack. Oh no. Here's a question. Is there an interesting Zadar shape with a double hump? Why, yes, there is. Why, yes, there is. So we could take this and we could turn it onto infinite repeat. There we go. Just have it be an LFO. Bees. Let's see if there's a better shape than this. Something with just like 2 bumps. Or 3. That's okay. 3 is okay. Why did you stop? Oh, because I have it set for 77 repeats, not infinite. That was silly. Seems like it's a little bit high. I was thinking birds of some sort. Okay, now what if this was a different waveform, like a sine wave? That's a little better. There's a little bit less annoying harmonics way up there. There's that little... Okay. Yeah, birds. Um, okay. How are we going to get... how are we gonna get... I'm thinking, like, if you guys have robins, like, they wake me up in the morning most of the time. How are you gonna get that? Because their shit's so random. It's just like... And you're like, what? Um, almost like it's a sequence. Okay. So we could use... what could we use? We need a really fast, chaotic voltage source. That can be gotten a lot of ways, honestly. What are you? Why are you here? Go away. Um... Hmm. Or we could go completely alien and just make something weird and be like, meh, it's an alien fungus spore pod beast animated creature thing. Meh. You know. Okay, so here's the question, I guess. And I don't have anything like this. A sequencer where you can give it a gate and it plays through a thing and then it stops, like a one-shot sequence. That'd be nice. I don't have anything like that. So... could be a thing. Could be a thing. Okay. So, like, okay, let's say we give it a burst generator. All right. Um, so we get a burst generator and we use that to trigger. Okay, but I want more than that. Ding, 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 ding. And I really just want it to be like basically triggers. Ding, 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 ding. So that gives it about 5 or 6 triggers. Okay. We use that to trigger a goofy Zadar envelope. Okay? All right? And by goofy, I mean something with a really chaotic movement. In fact, you can get way towards the end of these, and there's basically like timed noise in a few places, like Q1. Okay? So as it whips through this, all right? Um, God, that would be like a really interesting like sample and hold source too, which is something I don't actually have. I don't actually have a regular sample and hold, although you can make one. Hey, Simon. Hey, Jojo. Sounds to me like you're more afraid to live. Just have to be you. Okay, will this do the thing that I wanted to do? That is the big question. Okay, I don't know. All right. I'm running out of analog oscillators. Well, no, not really. I still got a couple left. Okay, so what if we took this envelope, this goofball envelope, and we ran it into the CV, or the volt per octave, of a VCO. Okay, I'm thinking more triangle wave than anything else. I need a filter that has notch filter capability. So I'm going to use the Doepfer. And then I'm going to have to run it through a VCA too. So this is going to be sort of the standard, like the norm for a lot of these. That's the first one. First time I've not had a long enough cable. Okay, modular wisdom of the collective. Who makes a good travel case? I think I'm going to need to get a folding travel case, but still a chonky one. Okay. Okay. It's very quiet. Okay, now let's band past this. I mean, that's not bad. Except that's a problem. Okay, let's forget this whole pulse and burst generator thing. Okay? Let's just turn this into an LFO. There. That's a good point, Bill. That's a really good bird noise. Okay, so then the question is, how do we occasionally let this in? Just every once in a while. You know, Jojo, I've had that thought a few times, that, like, anybody that's, like, doing anything is young. But that's just, like, an opinion, man. I mean, I'm 53, and my life is just getting steadily better. So, like, it could be worse. Could always get worse, but that never helps. Hey, Omen. Okay, so this is our bird sound, and it's pretty darn good, honestly. But we need it to come in and out every once in a while, not constant. Like, if constant, you'd want to stab something, right? Um, oh, yeah, that's cool, FX. Okay, so what I kind of need is I need a gate that's kind of random. Here is my question then. What is the trigger point for the Zadar? In other words, like, how much of a trigger does it need? Hey, Jazz. Good, Bill. That's good to hear. I am pro theory. I'm a classically educated, musician. So like it kind of makes sense that had that stuff drilled in me from a very young age. But yeah, it feels to me like that's a thing that's missing for a lot of people. Like it's something that they should unlock, and most people refuse to. Oh yeah, you guys got potential tornaditos. Los tornaditos, por favor. They all went south and east of me, but they were heading northeast. Okay, so this is our bird, and again, God, it's a pretty damn good bird. I mean, that's cool. Okay, so what we want to do is trigger it. Now, here's my first thought. My first thought was like, okay, what if you just give it a gate from something, right? The problem is, here, I'll give you a sample. We'll turn this really low, and we'll make this an actual gate, all right? Do you hear the pop at the beginning and the end? If you listen really closely. It's just this little... Like, it's this tiniest thing, right? So, that's not going to work that well. That bugs me, okay? And if anything, this whole stream tonight is a task for you, dear viewer, you're listening, okay? Listening super, super closely. And how do you do that? Show you a little bit of a trick. See, I didn't want to granularize this thing. I wanted it to be more organic, building up like individual elements and then throwing them all together. I was even like, dude, reverb and stuff is not natural. Check it out. I can trigger my VCA by pressing the cable on my face. I'm a conductor. Let's try this. Now, my thought was a simple thought. Take this guy, the Mito, right? Number one, we're gonna slow down the clock to it by quite a bit. Right now, it is on a 30-second note clock. If I gave it like an eighth note clock, okay, and then I was like, hey, here's output number one, and I went really, 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 really slow with it. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this into a filter. Okay, so I'm gonna take output number one, and I'm gonna put it into a low-pass filter. Now, if I turn the frequency all the way up on this filter, you get the pops. But if I turn it down, see what you got there. And then I can change the width and the speed. Even like swing. That's not really going to help us much. But the width is good. But do you hear the pop is gone? Okay, because a low-pass filter can be used as a slew limiter. If you turn the frequency down all the way, it strips everything out. Okay. So again, this is not working on the sound. This is working on the gate that I'm giving it. And it's just enough to blunt the front edges of this perfectly square voltage shape to making them just a little bit more rounded off, right? See, Jojo, this is the whole point, was to not... Yeah, I could go to YouTube and be like, let's find a jungle ambience. The exercise was, let's do it all from scratch, right? And see what we can come up with. Okay, now I need this to be a little bit more random. Now we can change the pulse rate that the Mito is giving. And that's an easy one. I would say take a slow sloths and throw it in there. Like that guy. Boom. A little reverb. Yeah, that would have been the simple thing, was to just throw it through an ADSR. that would have been easy. I guess I'm not out for easy. No, it's a good trick to know, though. Like, to... Let me turn up all the proportional volumes of everything involved here. I don't like this one. This thing? That's not good. Let's filter that a little bit differently. These are basically frogs right now. Like, that's just straight up, like, peeper frogs. Hilarious. I would challenge you, anybody who's doing anything with synthesis or modular, pick a sound and make it. However, whatever it happens to, it doesn't matter what it is. It's the challenge of how do you mentally break down a sound into its components and then recreate those with whatever tools you have. Okay, it's a cool challenge, to be honest. You know, and take it that whole step further and like doing sound-alikes. Like, I'm going to recreate whatever. Pick a song. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be more layers to this, and maybe kind of go into the musical end of things. And I mean, this could easily be turned either peaceful or spooky. I think peaceful would be a good thing. Let's do that. Let's get a slow, droning kind of like a bass. And we're going to keep it easy on ourselves and be just like C major. Just boom, easy. And because I like it, I am going to use an octave chainsaw bass because it's the greatest thing ever. And prove me wrong! Prove me wrong, children. Prove me wrong. Scanner, scanner, faster than lightning. Nope, gonna need longer cables. Gonna need a bigger boat. You reach? You did. Good job. Good job, buddy. Okay. No, I have not. Interesting. No, 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 no. Come on. Bow. Perfect. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Oops. Wrong channel, sir. Much, much longer. And then... Lane Vogelsinger, huh? I'm gonna... Let's just subscribe, and that way it'll be like, hey, reminder, here's a new thing in your feed. Timu, remote control lawnmower. Oh, I have seen a couple things of hers. I have. I think just in random passing. Yeah, Light Bath did some stuff sort of like that, I think, earlier on. We could slow this clock way down, too. We do not need this to be at all fast. Oh, that's still too much. Man. The FM input on the neutron filter is, like, really sensitive. He got a little weird, though, I gotta say. He got all, like, pyramids and crystals and real woo-woo. And, you know, it's fine if that's your thing, but frankly, I'm just not into it. I mean, honestly, that just needs to be even slower. Okay. And then how about just some, like, chords moving at a totally different pace? I like the fact that the vector has this, like, speed setting. So we can do, like, random. And then... Okay, I think I can be like, here, let's do this, this. All right, and we'll put those all into like master edit mode. But I'm gonna go G, and we're gonna go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for that one, and we're gonna go up 9 for the second one. Okay, and then you can just kind of transpose each one. So this is a C chord, and if we put this on a C, it's playing an F chord, and then G chord, and let's do another. Let's do a D minor. Because D minor plus like G in the bass would be kind of cool. All right, and then we'll see what this sounds like so far. This might be the thing to put into the R bar. Maybe. Let's check it first. See what it sounds like, and then deal with that. Because it does have that gate output, which would be super duper convenient for like, you know, triggering record and stuff. Sure would be convenient. I just need to make sure that the R bar is in it, like the dub is in a different, like a correct mode. Oh yeah, no, they exist. Like if you look up the like the ES9, which is like a rack-mounted USB interface, and it'll do DC coupling stuff, so you can actually send control voltages back and forth. See, that's overdriving. You don't want that. Okay, way slower. Yeah, expert sleepers. I couldn't think of the name. Okay, yeah, clock is still too fast. I don't know what these speeds are doing. This one's still not slow enough, to be honest. It is nice, though. Ooh, with that F in the bass. That's kind of lovely. It's too annoying, though. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. We can just change the length of each step to like 3. That's a good idea. I completely forgot about that. Okay, so we could use a... I'm like, do I take the... Do I run this through the R bar? I mean, it would be interesting. Let's just give it a shot and see what happens. What happens if you run it through the R bar and just continuously record and just constantly dump it into granules, you know? You should get some interesting wipes of frequencies and real, like, blurry, gooey stuff, you know? Theoretically. Okay, that's about as loud as it's going to have to be here. Alright, so what if I did a dub level then? And I believe the dub, if it's all the way... You know what? I want to double check this, because if this doesn't work right, it's going to be really annoying. Okay, get out of my face, Splice. R-bar manual, because I downloaded it. I'm a smart guy. Sometimes. Dub, input, track and hold, erase and undo. No. Okay, here's the point. Let me get a longer blue cable here, because I'm going to go from the gate output here of that guy into the record or the capture input of the R bar, you know? And then we're going to need to cycle the playhead and make it move, do its thing. Otherwise, it ain't going to work well. Okay, so what I want to do then is let it keep going from wherever it left off last time. Which means it'll pick up from here with whatever chord it makes. And then we can swim it in internal reverb. Double tap. And then press. And then I'm going to put this on the Omega layer. Kind of let it fill for a while and do its thing. Okay, 35. Dub knob. Alright, that's fine, but where is that in the manual? Is switching Nothing. Nothing! Erase and undo? Maybe? No? Okay, and it needs to be in a far slower LFO. Where's our happy sound effects, too? see my sloths is on the low side here, which is why the birds are not chirping very much. Alright, well, let's real quick throw some modulation into the filter for the chords. And then I want to take part 2 and use it to trigger something new. Just a semi-random little bell kind of a tone. I do want to filter this guy, so yeah. I'm gonna turn down the probability. Okay, a little bit of modulation into the FM index. And then we'll crank up the probability of rests to like a lot, like 75%. More, 80%. Just so it's every once in a while, ding, happy little ding. Let's set up a subsequence for octaves too. Yeah. Need that input gain boost. not happy with this sound. Eh. I would rather put the playhead through the super slow slots because it stays in one place for longer. Your harmonies don't move as quickly. The frogs are playing a sea. That's better. Now they're in tune. Heard my bell in a long time. Probabilities are too high to rest. can, sort of.
I have the module that does that, actually. It's not here.
It basically spits out random voltages at mysterious times. Yeah, based on like voltage fluctuations. Birdies. If I gave this thing a full speed clock, it would be insane. Probably. Yeah, that exists. There's a module called the it's the Instruo. What the hell is it? Scion, SCION, and that's what it does. You hook leads up to plants or organic matter or your body or whatever, and it turns it into random fluctuating voltages. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. So you'd be like, look, my plant made music. It didn't though. You just take voltages and you process them in various ways to make weird stuff, you know. Anyways, I'm out of here for tonight. And yeah, may it give you inspiration on your own synthesis journeys. And yeah. Anyways, take it easy.